Hello, it's Friday. Not much I do know. So, obviously it's just me. I'm in the barn. And the reason I'm in the barn is because, there he is, Chester. He is choked for the last 2 nights on his dinner. So he is under supervision and express instructions not to be wolfing his dinner down, and he will have to eat properly. Otherwise we shall intervene as a group and tell him off because he's a naughty boy. And if you keep walking around, look, silly boy. I also have in with me here, I was hoping Janine would join me, but I think she's extremely busy. I have Miss Gertie, or Granny as Janine calls her. So I'm going to have a sit down. I'm going to have the same problem with questions. So if you're going to ask a question, it might be best to leave it slightly to the end, because I'll have a better chance of reading it. I'm going to have to just sit here just now. So Carlene is obviously not home. She's in the hospital, and they're just really taking very good care of her and making sure that her back's okay. Her back was very uncomfortable overnight. She was in exceptionally good spirits this morning. Judy has been in to see her, and Janine and Gwen have been in constant conversation with her. That's what happens when you send in the phone charger, you see. So everybody's trying to work out what's best going forward in the short term. And the short-term issue really is down to the fact that she's had a fall and she's not very steady on her feet. The major concern that we have is obviously the steps that she has been managing exceptionally well outside the cabin and the slope up to the cabin. And again, we're not going to call that a ramp, because it is not a ramp. It's not a secure or safe entry to the cabin in any way, shape or form that she at this precise moment can be asked to accommodate. So that really leaves us in a position where, in order to ensure that Carlene doesn't have another fall, if we can help it, and is as safe as possible, it looks like she's going to spend the weekend in the hospital. And the reason for that is she is not quite comfortable or ready to come home. And I think we're guided by the medical people and Carlene's comfort level. So I think it looks like she's going to spend definitely tonight, probably tomorrow night. And then we will look to see what accommodations we can make for her at home. I know Janine and Gwen, and I hope they don't mind me saying, are very concerned about the situation of the cabin, as is Carlene. It's clearly not in the ideal position, and they're taking measures behind the step to see if there's any negotiation that can be entered to accommodate her on one level. Not sure whether or not that's got any traction, but we're trying everything we can to ensure that she comes home. And again, this is all about trying to ensure Carlene's continued living on her terms, and that's what's most important. And I think, in all honesty, I think you have to be able to keep moving forward, and Carlene always moves forward, sometimes in a zigzaggy line because she likes to think outside the box, but she always moves forward, and we've hit a bit of a stalemate right now, and we just hope that I'm sure if we're not going forward, we'll make a side move and then go forward. I know that we're getting preparations for December the 31st, and I've tried to avoid speaking about December the 31st because, in all honesty, it's been such a dismal process that I don't think it really deserves to be given any attention. But it is what it is. And I think that we've now had to focus on the fact that December the 31st is, I think somebody said today, 40 days away. We need to hit the ground running. It would be lovely if we had access beforehand so that we were able to get in there, get it situated. I think Carlene does not depend upon gracious and elegant living. And I know that in order to be in her home, as long as we have a reliable heat source, a water source, and reliable electricity, we can heat the place. It has toilet facilities within it. She just needs to get her stuff rolled down that hill and in, and it gives her a far more comfortable and independent living space. And that's where we're at the moment. I'm sure that Janine and Gwen know far more about it than myself or Judy, as it should be, and will accommodate Carlene to the very best of their ability and to the highest standard. So she's not despondent. I think she's having a lot of exploration work at the moment. I didn't go down into the hospital to take the phone in to do mail call from there because it's, she's still in the middle of working with the doctors, and let's just, let them go on with it. If it looks like she's going to, we're going to try and get something sorted out so that she can be back to telling you all and filling you all in about what's happening. It may be that we have to record things on video and they're not live. There's lots of ways round about it. We always find the roundabout way that maybe isn't always the most obvious way. So onwards and upwards, as everyone says, and I think that should actually probably be our blinking motto, shouldn't it, really? Onwards, upwards in the most peculiar way, but we get there. So that's where we're situated at the moment. Let me think about what I can tell you about other things that have happened today. We had a bit of rain this morning. It was exceptionally heavy rain overnight. And we have mud. Oh, how I've missed it. That's a terrible thing to say. Didn't think that would ever come out of my mouth, but yes, I have missed the mud. The fire situation, I have no idea how it's impacted the fire, but I will tell you it has definitely dampened down the acrid smoke that's in the air. That's a tremendous relief because it's really been exceptionally heavy. So I think all the people who've been affected by the smoke travelling are probably saying, thank goodness for rain as well. It's not just us with animals. We are continuing business as usual because, let's face it, the animals don't stop. The goats went out, the donkeys went out. The dogs, as you will notice, are out on the pond area. Nick is working in the driveway at this precise moment in time. I made the executive decision, wait for this one, I made an executive decision to leave the dogs out longer than their 4 o'clock dinner time. And the reason I did that was because Nick's obviously on site to make sure that they're A-OK. We had good daylight, and I think that any opportunity we can have to have them outside running around and enjoying themselves is just fantastic. So they were going to be brought in at 4:30 and have dinner then, and then they'll settle down for the night. And between Carly and myself and Judy, they're in, out and shaking it all about. So that's good. And Nick's probably actually in that loop as well somewhere. So they're all, they're all doing as well as to be expected. Obviously, Larky will probably go in and out of the hospital. That's his job, and he takes it very seriously. So he'll go in and out. We might, depending on length of time, we might rotate Miss Sizzle in. Janine is coming home, and she's had a lot of things that, have precluded her from driving at the moment. She's on the phone constantly. I'm sure Gwen is probably also on the phone constantly. They're trying to get arrangements in place. They have to be, taking notes from doctors, etc. It is impossible to drive while taking notes. well, it's not. It's not safe to drive while taking notes, and potentially having discussions that require a lot of shifting around and taking notice of what's happening. So she will be leaving. She will be driving hopefully tomorrow, and then she said no, she didn't hit her head when she fell. So that was a good thing. I'm trying to see who said that. No, she didn't actually hit her head. It was her body. Just to clear that up. But thank you, Linda. Where was I? So she'll drive up tomorrow. She'll be back here in Massachusetts by Sunday with her brand new Airstream, which is very exciting. So she will take Penny into the Airstream with her, because what we really need to do is to get her really properly housebroken, so that she knows to go outside, and Janine will be on top of her all the time, and it'll be in, out, and she will also be shaking it all about. And that gives us a good step forward, and it takes a lot of the pressure off when you're going to nursing homes, just in case, she's learning, and this is a good progress. So, always positive. We're always moving forward. There was always an upside to every negative. So, Janine's going to take on responsibility for Penny, and the other two dogs, they'd wander around with us anyway, so that's fine. I do not know what Wanda is going to make of Penny invading her princess Airstream, but hey, sacrifices have to be made all round. So that's the plan for Janine coming up. And then I know Gwen at the moment is coming up on the 13th of December. And whether she chooses to, we should all be sitting here getting in place, so we'll wait and see. I'm sure Gwen will come up when she's best needed. So that's the important thing. We've got everybody on standby, backup, and backup on our backup, because that's the way we roll. And probably the reason we're good at it is because we work with animals. So let's face it, we're all getting there. Now, yes, so I'm going to try and have a wee looky-see. I'll tell you what's happening tomorrow. So, in fact, a couple of the young ladies from around in Partridgeberry came round to see the donkeys today, and they're just lovely. So they've been coming around. So we spent a little bit of time this evening before I came down to Meredith with them. So that was really nice. And tomorrow I have a lovely lady coming from Maine, and she is hoping to have a similar programme that we have with outreach and the animals. And we will have a discussion about the animals that we have, how we've trained them, what we do to get them ready to go into the nursing homes. That's going to be, I'm very excited. So that's tomorrow, mid-morning sort of time she'll be down, and she'll be on Meredith, and she'll be on Goldy's farm. So that's really great. And then there's something else happening tomorrow, and I can't for the life of me remember. It'll come back to me tomorrow, hopefully. And then Janine will be back on Sunday, and very excitingly, Janine will be back. And yeah, I said that. Mary's coming back. So Mary, I think, should be here tomorrow afternoon. So that's absolutely super. She's going to see a big difference in the donkey herd. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to have to put my arm down. It's getting so holding this phone up. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is check that Clancy is not killing himself in there. Hey, mister. Honestly, this is a full-time job, looking after this horse. He's still eating? He's still eating. Is it tasty and delicious? I think, personally, he was just upset because I didn't feed him and give him cuddles yesterday and the day before. I don't think. Anyway, so she's had lots of x-rays, and she's had an MRI, And I think that what they're looking for is really I don't know the results of them, so I don't want to speak out of school and get it totally and utterly wrong. But they were looking for any hairline fractures or anything that could cause problems in the future. She's obviously, when you fall, the situation is it's sore because you obviously bruise. The good thing is there's no external bruising, and there doesn't seem to be, and there's definitely no internal bleeding because they did check. So that's absolutely wonderful. I think she's very sore, and as we all know, when your muscles get sore and you have to move your legs to go up steps, etc., sometimes they just don't want to work. One of the other concerns that we have had in the past is that sometimes her knee gives way. There's no rhyme nor reason as to why her knee gives way, but sometimes it just doesn't want to work. So that's something that has to come into the mix of things that could potentially cause her a difficulty. And with anybody who is I'm not going to say she's elderly because she's keeping on, but is she's on warfarin, she's on other medication that do not go to help you bounce back from any injury. So I think from that point of view, we always err on the side of caution, and nobody's going to take any risks, and we're always going to make sure that she's accommodated as safely as possible. It may be that what we're going to have to do is do mail chat from odd places. She'll still be actively involved. Let's face it, there's no way we can keep her not actively involved. She'll still be actively involved. Her input will still be seen, and we're going to get there. Now, let me see. She should use her cane around the cabin. Yeah, there's been lots of suggestions of maybe, look at this idiot. You see him? No, I can't see him either. He's put his head in. There's been lots of really great suggestions of other support devices that she can use round about the cabin. I will say one of the problems with the cabin, and it's neither here nor there. There's a lot of limited space. She's been using in the last couple of days. What she was using was the wheelchair, so that when she got tired, because she's slightly bent over, she was using the wheelchair. So if she got tired, she would just spin around and sit down. I always worry about the wheelchair, that when she spins around to sit down, that she catches the edge of it and it tips. So I think that from that point of view, it's there has to be a safer way. The one thing that I really, really see the value of is her ropes. Her ropes are absolutely, she's like Tarzan. She comes in the door and she can swing from one side from the door side all the way over to her chair side. And it actually works so well for her. In fact, she should patent them and sell them, I tell you. They are very helpful. So that's good. I think that there are very few modifications that can be really made to the cabin at the moment to suit her needs. And I think probably one of the issues we have is that we're now so far down the line that, we're 40 days out. We could put we could make structural differences to the cabin and then find that we're not going to be able to use them, because by the time it would take us to get somebody in to build it, it's what she'll say, it's a waste of money, because quite frankly she's gone down to where she needs to be. It's a open space. It's far more suitable for purpose now, and desperately more suitable for purpose now. So there's no point amending the cabin, and we will work on by. This is not a long period of time. It's frustrating. It's upsetting. It's a real shame, really. But we'll get there. And she'll get there, and she's in good spirits at the moment, and we'll just keep moving on. So we always plan for the best and have an eye on what could potentially go wrong, but we're going to move forward, and that's the way we're going to do it. So if you want any questions answered, now is your time, because I might have, oh dear, Oh gosh, I'm trying to read these. Yes, as she'll tell you, and you all know, she had polio as a child. So, you know, she keeps saying to them when they do all their X-rays and our examinations, right? I don't want anybody getting excited. I had polio as a child. My back's meant to be like that. I'm like, okay. So there's you know, there's lots of challenges that she's faced up to. So lots going on, and I have no answers. I'm sorry, and I'm quite sure when Janine and Gwen have got some answers for you, they'll get in touch, or Carlene herself. So that's the best we can do at the moment. So everybody have a good weekend. You will be hearing from us, and hopefully it's with really good news, which would be lovely. And if not, we will have a solution in place, and we just keep going forward. Enjoy your weekends. Bye-bye.